Hey there, Blade fans. This old sword's back with you once again. And I want to thank the kind folks at the Kansept Knife Company for providing today's knife for review. It is the Model 6, and it is a design by a law enforcement officer, possibly a former law enforcement officer, Nick Swan. So let me see if I can bring up some info for you. Now, Nick Swan is a retired law enforcement officer. He needed a knife that he could trust his life on, not only as the last line of defense, but as an everyday tool. He doesn't believe in safe queens and refuses to own a knife that he won't actually use. Well, definitely good for him, and not in line with many of us collectors. I EDC about 15 different pieces, perhaps, throughout the course of a month. And I add some in and take some away as I go along. But admittedly, I have my safe queens, and you may very well have them as well. So this is a, see if I can get the right knife here, because I have the, got the plain Jane one here that they had sent me with the black G10 and the 154 cm steel. The Model 6, this is from Knife Center and probably according to Kansept Knives. The Model 6 was designed to be a working knife that could be used for various daily tasks, but could instantly be deployed as a self-defense tool. The 3.1-inch sheep's foot blade provides a reliable edge that delivers solid cutting performance in daily tasks. The smooth action of the blade is fidgety and easy to actuate thanks to the great pivot design. So about $75 for this knife. If you get it in fat carbon, they're getting $150, and I think there's some better blade steels that go up even from there. And before we take a look at it, I'm going to give you some specs quickly, not doing the ruler and scale thing today. So there you have the 3.1-inch blade. You have the overall length is 747, like the airplane, the old airplane. Blade material, well, this is incorrect. So the blade material on this one is 154 cm. I'm not going to scroll back to that page. The thickness is going to be the same, 0.125. And it's a sheep's foot blade, flat grind, black, not black stonewash. This is going to be a silvery stonewash. And forget again, the fat carbon references. And do they give a weight? Yes, 3.81 ounces. Quite nice. So not going to weigh your pocket down. Action is smooth, as they say. And we've got a pretty good flipper tab with some kind of smoothed over jimping. I've missed it a few times. I think it's a little bit polished and shiny, unfortunately. And I have to say the same to a degree about the opening hole. I really have to dig my fingernail in there because it's smoothed over a little bit too much inside. Now, I told Kansept I was going to just, speak my mind on this. I'm not out to pan it. I'm not out to glorify it. So telling you what I see. We've got a folded over clip that is a deep carry, pretty close to being completely deep carry. Unfortunately, with these mushroom-headed screws, they're like little beads there, and they tend to catch heavier fabrics. That is unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that there's no provision for left-hand carry. That clip is the right side, tip-up only carry. Really too bad. Got a very muted flipper tab, which is nice. Not going to catch on anything, including your finger. Sorry, it's me being bad, but if I give it some good pressure, it's pretty fail-safe. We got a lockup with exposed steel liners of about 50%, at least. I'd say 50-55%. So it's good lockup, nice and solid, as you might expect. 3-inch blades, a little short for me. I like 3 1/4, 3 1/2 minimum, but it is comfortable with that finger groove and the ergonomics of the handle. Generally, when you have this broad curvature here that fits into the fingers, it's usually quite nice. Jimping, I'd say, is just enough. just enough drag, could be a little more for my tastes. You can get all the way out here, no problem whatsoever. We have here a very elongated lanyard slot that is part of the back spacer, and if we take the screws out, it looks like it comes out, but I don't think you're going to be able to remove it for daily use, because if you take this piece out, you're also losing the support. It's all part of the structure of the knife. We also have some weight relieving, I believe, inside. Yes, nice big chunks of weight relieving. And that probably has taken at least an ounce off the weight of the knife. So we're down under 4 ounces, which is great. As far as the self-defense aspect of this go, you know, it's a sheep's foot blade, so it's a blunty. No, not like that. But I'll get my paper out here. I'll show you my point. Haha. So if I push here with no support on the paper, a pointy knife's going to go through. If I angle it up, it may begin to pierce. But straight in line with the handle, it's not going to be a piercer. And if you've studied the Philippine martial arts and know anything about their blade and stick and sword fighting, they've had quite a few centuries of experience with knives, and they prefer the daga, meaning a dagger, meaning a double edge, meaning at least a knife that is pointy. It can be single or double edge, because that is what goes into the vitals, and that is the deadliest of the sword and the knife is the knife is the finisher. The sword's going to remove limbs. It's going to hack its way through jungles. It's got weight. And the ergonomics of a sword are not the ergonomics of a 3-inch knife. You can't compare the two. You can have the same blade shape in something with 20-inch blade. It's going to do different things and have different dynamics than a little 3-inch blade. Okay, so I kind of refute the fact that this can be used for self-defense. Can be is the operative term. They do give you a pretty decent edge right out of the box, so that is good. And of course, as with any knife, you can strap it up to make it what you want it to be. Nice relief there and a nice chamfer on the liner. Closes very easily without any effort. For me, however, it would be a flipper tab knife, much more so than it would be a middle finger flick or even a thumb opener. So a good short little EDC knife. I say little, 3 inches to me is little, okay? Not miniature, but it's small. Here's a knife I've been carrying around with me now for a couple of weeks. It's a biggie. It is the MSI with the ram lock from Microtech. I love it. It's a big, structurally solid knife, very industrially built. It's got the injection molded handle rather than the G10, but I do have the G10 as well as the stitch with the ram lock. I'm big on the lock. I'm big on the overall design. This also is a sheep's foot, okay? But it narrows just a little bit more, whether it's much more effective in the thrust, maybe a little bit. If I pick it up, I'm going to get a little more of that point. But I didn't get it for that purpose. I got it for EDC stuff, for cutting. That's why I got the serrations, yada, yada, yada. So it's considerably larger than the Model 6. And the Model 6, if I didn't mention, is in 154 cm. This particular one, there you go. And there is the Kansept logo, and there is Nick Swan's Swan. Very nice logo, love it. Compared to Griptilian, going to be pretty close. Well, take that back, about 1 inch longer overall, about 1/2 inch longer blade. And Rat 1, we've got a significantly 1.5 inch longer knife with about an inch longer blade, as you would expect. So for portability, for EDC carry, for lightness, for having it with you, I mean, that's the idea. Nick wanted to have a knife that's always with the law enforcement officer, that's useful. It's got a good thick stock there. I think we did read up on that. So yeah, we've got a knife stock of 0.125 blade thickness. And we've got an overall length of 747, as I said. Handle length is 4.38. So you big guys will probably still have plenty to get your hands on here. I got a medium large hand and it is just big enough. Great action. How fidgety it is overall with that softer jimping and with some difficulty in opening it with a finger flick, at least for me. I don't know how fidgety I would call it. I think there's other knives out there that are going to be more fidgety. But selling a knife is selling a knife. You know, we have so many knives coming out every week that there are going to be points that are made that may be exaggerated a little bit. I'm not saying anybody's lying to you. It's just that, you know, any knife you EDC these days, I think they're also going to try to make it seem as though it's going to also defend your life. And truthfully, as far as cutting goes, many, many knives can. There you go. So don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. I'll be back with you soon. And I got many more coming down the line to be reviewed. So keep your ear to the ground, so to speak. Be well.